The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So I'll say take a step. For me, my first step was acknowledging that this is something I can do and telling myself to invest in it, because to carry the amount of money I had at that time to get my first iPad, that was almost everything. Samuel is Toe is Samuel. My background, I'll say my background, this question is always so tricky. I'm always thinking, I don't know why, I think professionally, I think of introducing myself. But well, I'm from Rivers State, Nigeria. When I'm in Nigeria, I live in Abuja. Animation, I came into the animation space in 2019, but I won't really call it animation, I'll call it more of artist space, because I became a comic artist at first. Yeah, after being a comic artist, I decided I want to move into animation, because it's one thing seeing your drawing stagnant, it's another thing entirely seeing your drawings moving. So yeah, that's how I came into animation. And now I'm in Vancouver and I came here to study, and I'm still studying 3D right now, and yeah, it's going good. I've studied 2D in the past, completed that, and yeah, we're moving on. Nice, that's a lovely question, because there's no arrangement, there's no hierarchy. I'll just mention it out with you. So it's not like if the first one I see is the one I love the most too, but I'll call my first film Be Free, because I broke my back for 8 months with my fellow classmates, and yeah, it came out amazing. I didn't know I'll be able to do that at that level. Well, being taught by veteran animators, it came out awesome. My second project, I'll say, I released it recently, I'll say is I'm a Piano by Ashake. I love Ashake so much, and I love his music. So I'll say I'm a Piano is second. Thirdly, I'll say my Truth or Dare games, because it gave me a boost of confidence, because fun fact, when I released it, it was 200 copies, and before, on pre-order, it got sold out, so in Nigeria. So that is my heart goes to that project and my other games, although I've not released it here. Give my fourth project to the film I'm working on right now. Although it's not out, but I've started working on it and I know it is the best. I know it to scatter everything I've done, to just say everything I've done is not, but regardless, everything I've done is I put in my all. But this one that is coming, that's a funny story. So I got commissioned when I just started drawing. I was getting traction. I got commissioned by so and so, and it was the biggest. When I saw the money they were paying me, I said, okay, no problem, now let's go. But the project was very big, and it was a game card deck of three different game card decks. And after the second one, my energy ran down, my creative energy juice went out. This time I was still understanding how to relate with the client. If I knew, I may have done some things better. But after that, I was like, I have to create a game just to remove that guilt. And what I could think of was Truth or Dare. Because Truth or Dare is a game that is played in Nigeria. But when you're at the party and you're young, you're vibing, if you dare someone to do something, everyone will start saying, oh, this person's a pervert, blah, blah, blah. But then I was thinking, okay, if I could create this game and if people pick it, it is not anyone saying it, the game says. So it was a beautiful concept. And because of that sexual part that people had an issue with, I divided it into two. So there's the family friendly, then there's the 21 plus. And yeah, that game, yeah, is an amazing thing. Okay, creative process. I'll say it depends. I could just be on Twitter, I could be on Instagram and I see a post, or depending on what's trending. How I started, so I don't run out of ideas, is that I jump on trends. If something is trending now, Nigeria is a place where the gist is hot. 247, there's something happening. So relating it in my own creative way is the way to get it out. And the process, it all starts from an idea. Then maybe you make little thumbnails and sketches. Then from there, before you now invest totally in the work, which will take more hours. So I'll say music, you have to look for what gets you going. Me, I'll say music, it gets me in the mood. Then it depends, even rejection. Sometimes when I receive a lot of no's, I transform it into energy to work. I don't know how that works. Maybe I'm weird, but when I receive no a lot, it makes me angry. I'll go back in my bed and think, come back and say, these people are mad. Then I'll come back and do more work. But yeah, that's how my creative process goes. The way the world is moving now, I don't think so. Because if it's something you like, there's YouTube, there's Skillshare, there are a lot of places to learn. So I would say it's fine. It's fine if you don't have that traditional background. Like currently, I'm learning 3D animation, and my 3D animation teacher doesn't have any traditional skills. He doesn't have any drawing skills. But when it comes to software, he knows the workflow. So you don't necessarily have to know how to draw on paper. But although it's a bonus, but you don't need to know how to draw on paper or traditional to move into the digital space. You can just move into the digital space. I'll say art block. I know a lot of creatives experience art block, and that's when you don't just feel like doing anything. So art block is one. I'll say my mentals. Sometimes your mentals can be low. Sometimes a lot of things in life could get in the way of your creative process. You can be very energized today, and something that doesn't have to do with anything can mess up your day, and it can affect your mentals, and that in turn can reduce your flow. I also say funds. Honestly, if you don't have funds, I get it if you cannot create anything but you have to start somewhere. For me, I would say funds is very important. So funding, mentals, art block, those kind of things can shift your creative flow in a way. I'll say my mom a lot. Every time I hit a wall or I hit somewhere that I can't pass through, I have to call mom, see, because she has known me since I was a baby. She knows me when I'm happy, she knows when I'm angry, she knows how to talk to me. She has more experience than me. So when I reach out to her, she always has words of wisdom that really help. So that's one. For art block, I'll say sometimes taking a break is very important, like trying to rest. I know as a creative, you're thinking what's the next thing you can do that will boom, 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 hits everywhere. But I'll say taking the time to take a walk, chill with friends, just hang out, just gather positive vibes. That's another way you can deal with things like this. My future plans, I'll say first things first, I would love to gain experience. I know right now I have 5 years of experience in creating comics and animation, but I want a lot of professional experience. I want to be able to work in a studio. I want to be able to work with a group, with a team, work a lot with a team, understand how the pipeline goes, understand how animation comes from that small idea onto the big screens. That's something I'd love to do. Then after that, I would love to branch out and hopefully start my own something small, like a studio, and have my own group of like-minded people. Because there are a lot of stories in Africa to tell. There are a lot of stories in Nigeria to tell. I can just name a few. There's Madam Coin Coin. I have never seen anything animation about Madam Coin Coin. So there are too many stories to tell. So those are some things I'm looking at doing in the future. Funny you ask that question. Right now in my iPad, my NFTs are sleeping there. I've showed my friends. Everyone is asking, why haven't I released this? But the truth is that with the NFT space, I don't really get the meaning to it. I need to put meaning into something before I release it. What I have right now in my iPad is so nice, like good artwork, good drawings of toe, nice things that people will love, but I need meaning. I need to infuse meaning into it. I won't like someone to get something that me myself I would not like to get. So right now the NFT for me is on pause till maybe it develops more. Currently, animation is like 100 years old. Finance is like 400 years old, and music has been here. So it's good to just calm down and see how things are moving, the flow of time, before you step in, before you take action or do anything. I'll say do not wait for, I don't know, just start. Honestly, just start. Even if you're not animating, even if you're drawing, but it is good to start somewhere. When you start, there's a saying that just take a step. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So I'll say take a step. For me, my first step was acknowledging that this is something I can do and telling myself to invest in it, because to carry the amount of money I had at that time to get my first iPad, that was almost everything. And then moving from that traditional space, because a lot of people started by drawing on paper, then moving from that traditional space to the digital space is something entirely different. It's so tough. You have to have your muscle memory in your hand, train yourself again. So I'll honestly say just start. Just start, no matter how small. Get yourself out there. It is scary at first. You're worried but your neighbor does not care. So honestly, just start. Just start. Ah, nice. Nice one.